So good morning, everybody. I am Marlene de Cespedes. I am with Douglas Elliman in Coconut Grove, Florida. I represent the Miami Beach areas in South Florida. And I'm here today with my amazing colleagues. I have Anca Mirescu. She is also with Douglas Elliman and represents Elise in Miami in the Edgewater neighborhood. And then we have Marisela Cotilla. And she is also with Douglas Elliman and is the sales manager for Alina Residences in Boca Raton. So welcome, ladies. How are you?
Thank you.
Thank you. Doing very well. Thank you so much for the invite. We always appreciate collaboration with a great colleague.
Awesome. Thank you guys for being here. So I want to talk about each of your respective projects. We have Anca, who was with Elise in Miami. And let's start off with you. And just tell us about how the project is coming along. And the floor is all yours.
Okay, thank you so much, Marlene. Thank you for having me here. You know that nothing gives me more pleasure than talking about Elise. So feel free to stop me when you feel like I'm running out of time, okay? So for those of you who don't know, Elise is the first luxury boutique building in Edgewater. And I am going to now attempt to share my screen. And if that works, we will be able to actually see how beautiful this building is. I am making good progress. I think host disabled attendee screen sharing. So maybe we will not be sharing our screen right now.
Try now.
Let's see. Oh, and now it is working. So we will be sharing the screen.
I prayed to the tech gods this morning.
Well, it worked. So, but let's start from the beginning. We're ruining a little bit of the suspense here by having to flip through the entire thing. But this is Elise. It is the first luxury boutique building in Edgewater. It is 57 stories high, but it only has 100 residences. So as you can see, the building really, really stands out in the skyline. And I constantly get, phone calls and text messages with pictures from fellow brokers and fellow Miamians who keep on telling me how beautiful the building is turning out to be, right? It's really noticeable because it is telescoping in shape. So the residences get bigger towards the top. Elise was developed in this beautiful new neighborhood called Edgewater by Two Roads Development. They are Palm Beach developers. They had already developed something in this neighborhood, a building called Biscayne Beach. And during that time of the building of Biscayne Beach, they noticed that the area, Edgewater, was starting to attract a new type of buyer. A buyer that was looking for a more luxurious, a more sophisticated kind of living. So their answer to that need was Elise. And to make this dream a reality, they enlisted the help of Arquitectonica, one of the best-known architects in Miami, and Jean-Louis Denio, who is a very well-known French designer. He is on the top 100 Architectural Digest designers, and he's currently doing the Waldorf Astoria residences in New York City. So we're very excited about that. For those of us who are not 100% familiar with Miami, Edgewater is a new neighborhood that has developed over the past 10 years, and it's really in the center of this new Miami. And I have a little map here to kind of orient us. So back in the day, and back in the day is only 10 to 15 years ago, Miami was all about Miami Beach. So I think you all can see my cursor over here, right? So everybody came to Miami for the beach. Miami was a beach town. Over the past 10, 15 years, Miami has developed into a much more sophisticated metropolis, right? So this area here, all of them on the mainland, is now teeming with all these new neighborhoods. So you have Wynwood, which is kind of the artsy neighborhood with all the art galleries and, cool little shops and cool new restaurants. And then you have the Miami Design District, which is the shopping mecca, right? It's like our Rodeo Drive or our Fifth Avenue or what have you. You have the Arts Entertainment District, where we now have, an opera house and a ballet house and a couple of museums. Miami is becoming a metropolis that people can live in full time. And then you have Brickell over here, which is the financial district. And what's nice about Elise is the fact that it's really in the middle of all of this new Miami, right? So it's 5 minutes from everything and then 15 minutes to the beach. So from Elysee to Thousand Ascent, about 15 minutes, assuming that you can find parking in Miami Beach. The other really amazing thing about this neighborhood is the fact that it had opportunities to build right on the water. So all of the residents at Elysee have absolutely unbelievable views of the water and the Miami skyline and so on. And as I mentioned earlier, the designer for Elysee is French, and he, you know, his Frenchness is reflected in the spaces that he has conceived for our building. As you can see, like I almost feel like you can see a little bit of Paris when you kind of step through these double doors into the lobby, right? And the common areas on the ground level are, you know, a series of rooms instead of having one gigantic space, because he wanted the building to feel more intimate. He conceived a series of rooms, and if you look here, see, they draw you towards the water. So I'll just quickly flip through here to give you a sense of what it would feel like to walk into Elysee. So you'd go from here, where you arrive, into another room, a beautiful owner's bayfront lounge, and then the swimming pool. So we have 3 full floors of amenities. This ground level is the first one with a sunrise pool. So here you can take in the sun in the first half of the day. Then on the 7th floor, this is our health and wellness level, and this is our sunset pool. So see, notice the subtle difference between the sunrise pool. Over here, it's all sunny and green and so on, like a morning pool. Think, you know, mimosas, right? Whereas here, it's a little bit darker, so think maybe a happy hour, I don't know, gin and tonic.
The cocktail changes.
Exactly. At least in my mind it does, right? And then complementing the, you know, the pool on the health and wellness level, we have a beautiful European spa, which has the sauna and the steam room and massage rooms and so on. And of course, here's a gym, so you can kind of burn through all those mimosas and whatever other libations you enjoyed on the 7th floor pool. And this is what I think is the most spectacular level of amenities, which is the 30th floor. It's a floor that the developer basically is giving back to the residents to use as an extension of their homes, right? So over here, for example, this is their grand salon. So, you know, the owners could come and organize a beautiful cocktail party. Or if they had a birthday party or they wanted to do a New Year's Eve party in a more formal setting, in this formal dining room, they could do that, and they have a catering kitchen. So, so they would be able to have a big party and then go home like nothing happened, no wear and tear on the apartment. And here we have a screening room and a gaming lounge. So these are all on the 30th floor, okay? And then a bonus amenity on the 3rd floor, we have 2 hotel suites. Oh, hey, Teddy.
Sorry, he just popped up.
He's so cute. We have 2 hotel suites. So if the owners would like to have guests stay in their building but not in their apartment, they could book these, okay? The apartments themselves are spectacular. They go from large to gigantic. So our smallest floor plan is about 2,700 square feet, and it's a 3-bedroom convertible to 4. And our largest floor plan is just under 4,000 square feet. And all of the residences, since they are on half a floor, they're all corner residences, and all of them are flow-throughs. So they have spectacular views to the east and to the west. Floor-to-ceiling windows, extra deep balconies. They range between 8 and 10 feet. And incredible views. You can see the Port of Miami here and all of the beautiful lights. This would be a view from a master bedroom. And this is what our beautiful Elysee looks like in the skyline at night. And just to point out, this one over here is the 30th floor, okay? That's the floor of amenities. To give you a sense of pricing, we start right around 1.9 for the residences in the lower tier, so the 2,700 square foot residences. And we go to about 4.3 for the residences in the upper tier. Our penthouse has already been sold for $12.8 million. Just to give you a sense of what that means, the previous record for the area was about 4.1. So we tripled the record with the sale of the Elysee penthouse. So we think that really shows the fact that, you know, the market is recognizing the fact that this building is a different caliber.
That's amazing.
Wow. can I tell you? I can go on and on. I could. One more thing about services. I didn't mention anything about that, and it's worth mentioning. Of course, we have all of the services, services and amenities that you expect of a luxury building. The one thing that sets us apart is our concierge, called Élysée Attaché. Our concierge service will go above and beyond what a typical building concierge might do. So they'll also be able to book you tickets for a show or for a Miami Heat game or whatever your sports team is, or a table at a great restaurant. They can help you with personal shopping. If you left for a trip and you forgot something in your home, they can go get it and mail it to you. So they function almost as a concierge and a personal assistant in one. So that's a really cool service that we offer our residents.
It's beautiful. I know personally when I am out on the boat and I'm on Biscayne Bay, I mean, it is just striking when you see it, the design of the building. It's got an appeal for sure.
Beautiful.
Feel free to take pictures and send them to me.
I will. I'll tag you in all the social media posts.
Anca, Marlene, can I ask a few questions?
Sure, absolutely.
Anca, what is your price per square foot then?
So we start around 700 and we go to just over 1100, and it very much varies based on the tier.
Okay. And currently, what's your percentage of sale?
We're just over 60% sold.
Excellent. 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 It's impressive. It feels like a piece of Europe.
Yes, it does. It really does.
Very nice.
Very, very different than anything else that's on the market right now.
Exactly. And I think that the market is recognizing that, and we can tell that they are, because even during this very, very turbulent times, we've still seen, constant interest from prospective buyers. So we've actually gotten a couple of units under contract, and we have a couple more contracts out. So we've been doing quite well.
Well, Teddy wants to know if it's dog friendly.
Oh, of course it's dog friendly. Yeah, I feel like Lacey should talk to Teddy a little bit. Okay. Hello.
That's very cute. And Anca, is it predominantly international buyers? What are you seeing?
So what we're seeing is that it's end users. It's less dependent on where they're from rather than how they want to use it, right? So we actually have a lot of buyers from the Northeast. A lot of New Yorkers are really loving both the area and the building itself. But of course, you also have your typical international buyer, so we get Latin Americans, we have Europeans, and we also have quite a few local buyers. So people who are either living in one of the buildings next door, or people who are living in a single family home and, they're looking to change their lifestyle. They're looking to meet more people. They're looking to be more in the middle of everything. And they're considering Élysée because Élysée really feels, like 4,000 square feet of interior space on one floor is very large. It's very large. So it feels like a mansion. It feels like a mansion in the sky. So it offers the best of both worlds, really, right? Because you have the size of a single family home, but then you get the location and the convenience and the amenities of a condo. So that's why the local buyers have been looking at Élysée as well.
And I think especially for those empty nesters who the kids have gone away, who've been in a single family home and had to take care of, the landscaping and the maintenance and having service people. And I think this is with all the services and amenities that Élysée offers and the size of the residences, I think it's great for especially that particular set of buyers.
Exactly. So we're seeing both the empty nesters, and then we're seeing, the young couples who would have transitioned to a single family home, but because Élysée kind of has the best of both worlds, they're also saying, oh, you know what? Maybe we can grow our family in a condo. Maybe we don't have to be in a single family home.
And the appeal is, Edgewater, it has come such a long way, and it's so centrally located with having the design district and Wynwood and Brickell. You're just so close to everything that you want to do.
Exactly. Plus you have this beautiful park right over here, which has an amazing dog park. Right over here in this little house, the Miami Women's Club, there's going to be a major and that's probably going to become one of the new IT restaurants. So the area has really undergone a dramatic transformation.
When, and then I think this is probably our last question, then we'll go to Marisela, is when is completion?
It's just around the corner. So we expect to welcome our first residents probably in September. So I've been saying, you know, we're 6 months away, but somebody mentioned to me the other day that we're in May, not in March anymore. We're only 3-4 months away from delivery. And I think that's also something that's helped us, right? Because, and I'm sure Marisela, you can speak to that as well, because people can already see themselves spending the holidays at Elysee, right? They know that they don't have to wait for another couple of years to be there, so.
No, it's wonderful.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Well, thank you so much, Anca. After when we post this, I'll make sure to include all of your contact information.
Okay.
So they can either reach out to me or they can reach out to you directly.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for giving me a podium to speak about Elysee.
Oh my God. I've been looking forward to this conversation for a couple of weeks now.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we're going to go to, if you can
stop sharing
screen, and then we're going to travel up to Boca Raton, because you're in Miami Beach right now. Well, technically you're at Elysee in Edgewater.
You can see it right here, but I'm actually in my living room.
And I'm in South Miami, so we're going to travel up north, and we're going to go to Boca Raton with Marisela and Alina Residences.
And of course, she says Marisela, so now I have to go. I can also answer to Marisela.
Really? You know, it takes me a second to say your name.
I know. And now I'm listening to it thinking, oh, wow. So I am going to attempt to share the screen here. And I think I just did it. Did it work?
It did.
It did. Okay, so now the slides look like they're moving. Okay, so hold on just a second. And I'm going to have to need you all to tell me if you're seeing what I'm seeing. And it's kind of having difficulty here, right? Okay, so I am going to, let's see if I can get it to start. Okay, and then I think, are you seeing notes or are you seeing a slide?
Slides.
And notes.
Okay, you're seeing the slides now?
Slides and the notes, yes.
Okay, so I need to move. And if you give me a second, I need to switch screens. So some of us are much more technical, advanced than others. And I think I am showing my age right now. So here's, let me see. Did that work?
Yes.
So now you're just seeing Alina?
Yes.
Fantastic. So welcome to Alina. Okay, my name is Marisela, as you mentioned, and this is Alina Residences in Boca Raton. So you're right, Marlene, we're gonna take it from South Beach and Miami all the way to Boca. And for those of you who don't come this far north, I would tell you that we're not that far north. We're about 45 minutes, or I would say, depending on traffic, about an hour from Miami. Boca is in the center between Palm Beach, if you would, okay, and hold on, I'm going to try to move a slide here, and Miami. Okay, so now you should just be seeing the site. Am I correct?
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, so I'll take that little wins as we go. Okay, what you're looking at, what you're looking at is almost 9 acres. This was a huge, huge coup. A lot of developers out of New York, and I shouldn't say just New York, a lot is New York, Europe, California. They're the group that redid the Plaza Hotel in New York, 108 Leonard, 1 West End, and lots of other luxury buildings throughout New York City, the Carlisle in California. And this is their first project, if you would, in Boca Raton. Now, they were actually visionaries. Okay, in 2004, they bought this land, which is almost 9 acres. And what you see as my neighbor back here, okay, that is the Boca Resort. Okay, and of course, there's the ocean. So what happens in downtown Boca has been going through a resurgence. And we are, unlike Miami, we are actually low density. Okay, so what you're seeing is 9 stories in height. which is really what's controlled in the CBD. We're not allowed to go higher. So by getting almost 9 acres, okay, in downtown Boca, with all of the background, my back neighbor being the Boca Resort is huge. What we are is a lock and leave community. We're 121 private residences, all curated and all designed by Garcia Stromberg, which is a very, I would say, local architect in a lot of what happens in Boca and in Palm Beach area. Unlike Miami, we normally don't get that same, what I would say, flair, okay, of newness. So what you see here is basically 3 buildings. The first one is the one we're building right now. It's 121 residences. Okay, this is like our little boutique. That is second phase. So both these are second phases. And this is the one that we're going to be delivering. We were on target for December. With COVID and having to allow for the social distancing within the construction workers as well, we are now probably 45 days behind in delivery. Nonetheless, we're looking at probably, I would say, late January for welcoming our first residences. Construction on phase 2 is actually going to be starting on the most likely November of this year as we do demolition. This used to be known as Miser on the Green, okay, and it was a rental community. A lot also controls and represents quite a few of rentals. And when they stepped into luxury, which they did in New York, obviously they had to make a change. And so this is what they've come up with, and we're very, very excited, and the community has received it extremely well. So welcome to our lobby. Alina, again, everything that you see behind you, unlike where it's a lot of shining and I would say a lot of glass, what we've tried to represent here is a little bit more of an organic feel, okay, with woods and stones. What you see is onyx, okay, which is what's greeting you at the concierge desk. And then what you have is the wood really lining everything. We have a small version of this at our sales gallery located on site. Okay, but a lot of it again is the feel of organic, okay, and woods. So this is the fitness center. I know we hear a lot about concierge, and we hear a lot of buildings providing a tremendous amount of services. In Boca Raton, and I would even say going up to Palm Beach, you don't have a lot of full service buildings providing these type of services. So although you would think it doesn't really exist. Alina tried to change that. So what you see is the fitness center. It's about 2,400 square feet. And again, bringing in the outdoors and the inside and introducing a lot of wood. The equipment's going to be Echelon, which is a step above Peloton for those that may or may not know. It's an education on my side. Trust me. I would love to be there. I will admit the gym doesn't know me very well. Okay. Nonetheless, this is what we have. It's about the services, Alina. So beyond the, when you go beyond the fitness center, you're welcomed into our spa. We have this his and her spa. And what you see is the sauna. Okay, we have the steam room next to it. And then the third room right here is the Himalayan salt room. So within this, again, it's trying to bring in the organic feel, the spa treatment, and making sure that the residents, if they don't have to, they don't have to leave. So that was part of what the draw is. I think all of us, including Anca with Elise and everything that we try to do is, especially in today's times, is how do we provide an extended home? How do we give everything that they need without really leaving their sense of community? And I think this is what the appeal is today. So going beyond this, right above the fitness center and spa is the club room. So the club room is again an extension of everyone trying to, like New York and many of the major metropolitan cities, you try to provide a room where people can gather. If you want to have a small meeting, if you want to break away and have a venue and invite your guests, this is what the club room provides. So within the club room facility, we have a card room, we have a media room, we have a dining area, we have a catering kitchen, and all of it through nano walls can be divided to make it as small or as large as you would like. So everybody, again, can have certain events and not have to bring everybody to your home. The homes themselves are really a lot about, again, floor-to-ceiling glass. This is one of the most popular, the L line, and this is about 3,500 square feet. It starts at about 3.5 million, and it's all about entertaining with wraparound balconies. And what you see beyond the background there, that is the iconic Boca Raton Hotel. Okay, so again, the idea is seeing the golf course and everything else you see that just extends the feeling of free space, open space. Anything, we're 9 stories, but any residence above the 6th floor, you start seeing ocean. So with that, I don't mean that the waves are gonna break at your front there, but what you're going to see is a peak of ocean at a distance on the 6th, and you see quite a bit of ocean and even boats and sailboats on the 9th floor, which is the penthouse. The kitchens is everything designed by Scavallini. It's an Italian line. Our appliance package is Miele, and everything you see here is pretty much a standard. So that's the other thing that we try to provide. At Alina, we try to minimize the options because we chose the best for everyone. So therefore, someone coming in can appreciate not having 20 options, which delays construction times, but it also simplifies it. So this is an L line, and what you see, the majority of the islands are 9 feet long. This one has an extended bookcases on both sides that at the end of the day come almost like 10.5 feet. The appliances, we've come out with the Miele glass appliance, white glass, which is very nice and very minimalistic and clean looking. But actually, who takes the show is the master bath. So the master baths are all provided with double vanities, with marble, okay, tops, countertops, again, Scavallini, freestanding tubs, and this shower, okay, is almost 8.5 or 9 feet long. So it's a great, what I call the drive-through version. Okay, if you have kids, you walk in and walk back out. Everything that you see is porcelanosa.
It's like a social distancing shower.
You know what? It's a perfect, I have to use that line, so I'm going to borrow it, Marlene.
Absolutely.
Okay, but it's perfect. And again, the design is meant to enhance your experience because all of us, certainly, we just saw this happening. It's about that retreat. And this is part of what we're providing. But if you look at Alina and you look at what we want to be able to provide is really the sense of outdoors. So what we have is 32,000 square feet just for the first building. And this is the amenity deck. Okay, so about entertaining, it's about grabbing your wine after work or your coffee in the morning and walking through this, what I would say is escape. Okay, so this is everyone's amenity deck. This is on the east side, and beyond this is the golf course. But if you can imagine sitting down with your book at the end of the day or entertaining before you go out to your restaurants that are all walking distance, this is a little bit of what you have. And then if you want to include some summer kitchens and have some barbecue with friends, this is also available to you. One thing about Alina is a lock and leave environment. So at the end, if you think of the 121 residences, or when phase 2 is completed with 310, you can, within 5 minutes, depending how fast you walk, or 10 if you're a slow walker, you can go to the beach. You can grab your bike and be there very shortly. Walking distance to Meisner Park, if you've never been there, it's a nice shopping enclave as well as restaurants. All your cafes and your restaurants, whether it's trattoria, okay, or you want to go to the French one across the street, Okay, it's all walking distance. That is the attraction of Alina. That is what has allowed us, even within this pandemic, to sell over $12 million worth of real estate in the last 5 weeks alone. So you got to come visit me because there's a lot to visit and a lot to see. And so now I'm going to end the sharing and bear with me. Hopefully I can do this quickly. Did that end it? Marlene, can you take it from there?
There, you're good.
Bingo.
Oh,
Wow.
oh my God, I am so proud of you.
Oh, thank you very much.
You missed all about me.
Anca, I knew you would do it.
We were discussing before we started the call all the things that we've been doing in our businesses and you know, how we've learned and what we're changing, what we're implementing. And I think technology is one that we've been working on, and we're getting so much better at it every single day. And I think it's here to stay. And I think these meetings are going to be are going to stick around. It's going to be our new thing. So, but I wanted to talk about, I mean, I love Alina residences, you know, and speaking to many, not only of Douglas Elliman colleagues in New York specifically, and clients who live in New York, who have been, unfortunately, you know, they're in their apartments. They, you know, they don't have the benefit. I mean, we live in paradise that we can go out for a walk. We have the weather, we have the sunshine, we have the palm trees. They don't have the luxury of having outdoor space or a terrace. And how beautiful it is in both of your projects that, and Elysee, you can look out and see beautiful Biscayne Bay. And Alina Residences, I mean, it's beautiful to have all that green to look at. And then you have the ocean, you know, a little farther away, but you have that spectacular green space. And
yeah.
And just the walkability that the residents will have to just,
yeah.
I mean, everything is there. I mean, they don't really have to leave. And thinking about that while you were giving your presentation is home space. I think many people, I mean, we've been working from home for what, almost 3 months now, or we're going into our 3rd month. I'm grateful. I've really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. I see that this may be something new, that I'll probably work more from home than going to the office. I mean, I'm so productive. I just need to learn how to stop the clock, because I see myself working, you know, the entire day, because we love what we do. So I need to like have an end date, an end time.
Yes.
But I think right now, I mean, in both, you guys have such amazing amenities in these buildings that working from home is going to be so attractive for these homeowners now, that they really don't have to really go to the office. They have everything there at their fingertips. So
I would agree with you. In fact, what's interesting is, you know, we had a lot of outreach that we did to New York, to Chicago, Boston, if you would. And our price points are 1 million to 6 million. Everything from 1,400 square feet to 4,800 square feet. So what's happened is we're getting calls for people who were already thinking of changing their lifestyle. But now this has put it into a little bit of a speed, if you would, as they move forward. And it's very interesting. We're facing very interesting times, right? Because some people can get there, some cannot right now for financial reasons. But I think all of it is coming to the fact that all of us are realizing that, you know, life being what it is, long, short, or whatever, nobody knows. But we should be enjoying every day of it. And we should be able to choose where we're going to spend our time. The challenges of not seeing our families and now seeing them more than often. You know, on a personal note, I've been married forever. 43 years. And I've forgotten, thank you. And I've forgotten that I love this guy still, even after spending this much time with him. And that's been good. And for those that have families, little kids, or even older kids, you forget how much you adore that person. And you forget how special that person is. So I don't think we should say goodbye to that. I think you know, and you're right, Marlene, the challenge of when do we start our day? So guess what I started doing? And for some of you, I'm a big coffee drinker. And in Miami, Anca, it might be not difficult for you to get Cuban coffee or, you know, but I love Cuban coffee, being Cuban. So what I did was when I was home, I had my 3 o'clock Cuban coffee hour. I stopped, made my coffee, and then it kind of reset me again. And I think what's important for those of us that are home, and if we worked at home, is maybe at 4:30, 5 o'clock, go change your clothes. And now you're in a different mode. And then that starts, you know what, I'm home now. Because you're right, we need to have more discipline.
Yes.
And that's important because if not, we'll burn out just like we did before. So, but allowing homes to be part of not just our refuge, but being part of where we produce and become more productive, I think has shown us something. And I think it's a good lesson. I'm tickled pink to have had it.
Yeah, you know, has been a terrible situation globally. I can say you know, for me and my family, I'm very grateful that we have all stayed healthy. We've stayed in touch. My daughter might think that I stay too much in touch because she says I call her like 5 times a day, but you know, why not? She's in Orlando.
So
yeah. You know, home for me has always been important. Family, you know, comes first. But I think more than ever, I think everyone, I mean, being at home, they see the time spent. They're also looking at, you know, the space might be too big or the space might be too small, or I need outdoor space. I don't want to live in a condo. I want to move to a single family, vice versa. I want to have all these amenities moving forward. So I think that the importance of home is at the forefront of or on top of everybody's minds these days. And I think that is very special. And I think, and I hope, and I pray that kindness and the importance of home continues moving forward after, you know, COVID is over.
I would agree. And I think it will. And you're right. For our industry, it's about that window of what you want to look out at. And unfortunately, this terrible time for many, we're empathetic. These are colleagues, these are friends, these are neighbors, these are family who are experiencing this. So for us to be able to facilitate their next step, I think is our job.
Their new chapter. I always say it's like everyone has chapters in their lives.
Yes.
And we are blessed to be part of those chapters in our clients' lives. And it's an important, and it's a responsibility, I think, that we all have to you know, always do the right thing and provide value.
Agreed.
Yeah. But you both have amazing projects. I would love to either move to Edgewater or move to Boca. And one of the things that I was thinking about during your presentation, Marisela, is, you know, Boca to me has always been, if I were to choose a word, you know, classic. And I think that the design of the building, you know, they incorporate, it still looks like a Boca property. It belongs in Boca, but yet an interior, it's not modern, but yet it's contemporary, but yet with the flair of the classic. I don't know if that's how you would.
I like it. And you're right. And because, you know, Boca is, if you think of it, we're 30 minutes from Palm Beach. So Palm Beach is a little bit different, a different world, right? I worked there for many years, had tremendous successes there, loved it, but I live in Boca. So if I go to Miami, I get a little different flair. I do get a flair. I get something a little bit more modern. So this had to marry both. At the same time, we're something called Meisner architecture, where you'll see a different look, a different color. But Alina does marry it. And Boca at one point used to be a place where a lot of our parents went to retire. And there was a stigma. In reality, the average age today in Boca is 48 to 51. It's changing. We're getting younger.
I'm in that age range right now.
You are? See how beautiful is that?
I just turned 50, so.
Oh, congratulations. You look great. It's never looked better.
Thank
And,
you.
so I'm in that other age group. okay, well above you. But I will tell you that Boca is very active, and some of the best restaurants are represented here. And unlike not Miami, but unlike Palm Beach, my partners north of me, we're not as seasonal. So many people who live in Boca are here 12 months out of the year. So even Alina, right now, 61% of our buyers are 12 months out of the year residents.
And where are they coming from?
So I would say, and I have this little joke that I tell everybody, if you hear an accent at Alina, it's probably from Connecticut, okay? But in reality, we have Northeast, but we have a lot of people that are families that are getting to be empty nesters. We actually have a couple of high school students that will be living at Alina, getting ready to go to college. And so they're coming out of country clubs because they don't always want to be tied to a country club environment where they have to pay all those dues, especially when, if they're young in families, they're not playing golf every day, okay? So the other group that's coming in is also living on the ocean. And when you live on the ocean, although it's beautiful, you're looking at a black wall at night, and it's a little eerie. So what do they want? They want a sprinkle of lights. They want to see a city around them. They want to see life. So we're getting a little bit of everything. But Anca, they're Northeast, and their families, and they're downsizing, or they're just resizing. Isn't that the better word? So it's quite the mix. I would be proud to hang with any of my buyers. They're pretty cool.
Awesome. Well, I thank you, ladies. If you have any last words you'd like to say?
Anca, you want to go first?
Sure. I'd just like to invite everyone who's in the area to come visit us at the gallery once we open, so that you can really get a sense of what the special project Elysée is. And, you know, soon enough, we'll probably be on site since we'll be delivering in just a few months. So.
And I just have to say, they have an amazing cafecito at
I knew you.
the gallery.
I'm going over there as soon as I figure out what date I'm leaving here.
We'll be very happy, and hopefully we can still serve cafecito. We're trying to figure out what the new rules will be once we open.
I know. So the rules are changing, right? The way we do things are changing, maybe just the processes. But at the end of the day, what we deliver has not changed. So our ability to be sincere, to be able to find the right home, whether it's Miami, Boca, it doesn't really matter. Our jobs have not changed. So we welcome the opportunity to meet you. Marlene, I can't thank you enough for the introductions, and I look forward to seeing you all.
Well, thank you, ladies. Stay safe and be well, and I hope to see you both in person very, very soon. Maybe 6 feet away, but
6 feet away.
In person.
With virtual hug to both of you.
Yes. Thank you, ladies. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.